Hello and welcome to the video. My name is Wade Smith, and this video is about sports betting and people apparently throwing games, whether it's basketball or football or baseball or any sport. Um, we just gave up watching the Minnesota Lynx on television because they're now getting destroyed by the Valkyries, whom they blew out by 30 points the other night. How do you go from supposedly winning by 30 points in a 100-point game the other night to now they look like they don't even know how to play basketball? Uh, but more particularly, let's talk about the Russell Wilson play because this is a throw. I don't know what else to call it. It is a throw of the entire game. Russell Wilson, the last several years of his career, has been down, has not been making really high yardage, perfect passer rating games like he did in college in the first half of his pro career. And then all of a sudden, the other night, he was having a perfect game for the first time in years and was running up the total yards of offense and the score with 460 yards passing, proving that he actually knows how to play quarterback when he actually damn near wants to. 460 yards passing, and then all of a sudden, in overtime, he instead of throwing the ball on a fade route to the edge of the football field like you're supposed to in overtime in a 2-minute drill situation, or at the end of any quarter, really, he just throws the ball up in the middle of the field between the hashes straight into the Dallas safety's hands about 10 yards away from the nearest Giants player. And it's not even a matter of confusion of what the route should have been. The route should have been a fade. And the route was a fade. That's what the receiver ran. But his pass was nowhere near any of the Giants players. It went straight into the Dallas Cowboys safety's hand, whatever the dude's name is, like he was trying to lose the football game after having a 460-yard game. Like, how do you have a 460-yard game and sit there and tell me that you don't know any better than throwing the ball between the hashes with 2 minutes left on the clock? So naturally, they lose the football game. Was he paid to lose the football game? Is what I want to know. Did somebody pay him to lose? Because he obviously could have won it if he wanted to. And it's not just football. Like I said, it's basketball, it's baseball. One day the freaking Dodgers can run the score up on somebody if they want to, and the next day they can't even get a hit against no better or worse of a pitcher. Matter of fact, all of a sudden they have a 5-game slump against teams that are no better than the ones they were destroying earlier in the season. That makes no rational sense. They have the team with the most talent in the league, and they obviously have the most talent in the league, and yet they go on a 5-game slump, and they've dang near lost their home field advantage for the World Series. So I'm not exactly sure what their standing is right now, but going on a 5-game slump doesn't help. They lost again yesterday. Got two of the best three pitchers in the league, and get 10 runs scored on you. Doesn't make any sense. Got the best home run hitter in the league, and all of a sudden he went on a 5 at bat slump. That kind of stuff doesn't make any sense, in sports. That somebody is paying people to win or to lose games at will. And the worst thing is they're getting paid to lose games over sports betting. That's like the New Orleans Saints is partly sponsored by Caesars. All right, the stadium is actually called the Caesar Superdome now. It used to be called the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, but now the lead sponsor is actually a casino. That's a conflict of interest. That you're literally compromising the integrity of the game to allow sports betting because somebody is damn sure paying Russell Wilson to throw football games. Anybody that can throw 460 yards of offense in a football game can also lose anytime he damn well wants to. And that's exactly what he did. I was sitting there watching the Lynx versus Valkyries game that's on just now. And the other night, Nafisa Collier could have scored 100 points herself if she wanted to against this same team. And now all of a sudden, they're shutting her completely out like she's the worst player on the team or something. Because suddenly they're paid, they're throwing the game. That's all the only way I can understand this. You don't beat somebody by 30 points one night and then get beat by 20 points by the next night by the exact same team in basketball. That is not how basketball works. I used to play basketball whenever I was much younger and healthier. Wasn't very good at it, but I was better than that. But a player who is a ranked player doesn't get shut out by somebody else that was inferior to them the night before, doesn't suddenly get shut out by somebody like that. That's not how that works. Like if you watch before they allowed sports betting back in the old days of Michael Jordan's era and before that, when you watch those players, nobody could shut Michael Jordan down. And the Bulls only lost one game in my memory by 20 or more points, and that was the year before they won the championship for the first time. And that was Larry Bird's unbeatable Celtics team that did that to them. That wasn't some nobody eighth ranked team. That was a number one ranked team in the country that did beat the Bulls by a blowout score. Well, they humbled themselves and they learned how to play, and they came back and they beat them the next time, the next year. But if you check the roster of that team, that was probably one of the best basketball teams in the history of basketball, was that Celtics team that year. You don't beat somebody by 20 and 30 and even 40 points and then suddenly lose the series. That's BS. Somebody's paying them to lose.